Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Palmisano here, and I'm on my Guitar Gate Reacts request page, and I see something really cool today. It's B.B. King guitar lesson. This is from Liam, the beginner. Thanks for being a subscriber, Liam. Playing his Epiphone Les Paul Classic Heritage Cherry Sunburst. Nice. He says, coming from a rock bottom beginner, this sounds amazing. Thought it would be cool to have a guitar teacher react to a guitar lesson from the man himself. So, obviously, I'm a huge B.B. King fan. Seen B.B. King, had the pleasure of seeing him. Huge blues fan. I had no idea that he had done any instructional content. I've never seen a B.B. King video. A lot of times, these artists aren't the best teachers as far as describing what they do. So, this could be a great video or not. I have no idea. Hit the button.
We were playing, for instance, if you do a 1, I'll show you what I'm talking
about. So, 1 meaning the 1 chord. We're in the key of G, so that just means play a G for all you beginners out there.
Then the 5. That's the way I resolve it.
Yeah, that was.
So this is okay. So this is what I mean. Yeah, this is how I resolve it. Let's dig into what he's actually doing here. So for all of you that think that a lot of these old players don't know any theory, I mean, you could hear him right there. Say, that's the 1. All right, now give me the 5. That's how I resolve it. And you can see him picking out chord tones. This is not a one-scale-fits-all approach. He's playing different stuff over each chord. Let me break it down for you. So, right there, he's in G, over the 1, 5, 1, slide to your root, up. So we went from this to here. So 5, 1, slide to 1. And his perfect vibrato. 4 chord. So over the 4 chord, which is C, you can see him switch up to this shape. He's thinking in terms of a moving pattern 4 shape for all you do that get down with Cage. And yes, that's what I teach. So he's jumping up to this C shape, and what does he do when he gets here? That bends the root of C with his first finger, right? And then walks over, grabbing the flat 7 of C and the 5th, which of course is G. So this is our key center, but it's the 5th of the C chord. So he's really, if you think key centered, bending the 4th into the flat 5, that's that bluesy sound. And then reaching over to the flat 3, right, of G, and resolving to G. So you can think of it 5th, 1, 1, and then he's choosing to play G minor. You can do it, but kind of like the Albert King thing, right? Back. Now, back to 1. What does he do here? You telling me this guy doesn't know where his chord tones are? Flat 7, 5th, 4, major 3rd. That is a major 3rd. We were minor here before, right? And then it's the mixing of major and minor that give the different blues players their flavor, right? It's kind of like how much of it and in what way do you mix major and minor? That's like always the thing to look for when dissecting the differences in blues players, right? I'm fascinated to see what happens after this.
Then the 5.
First thing he does here is jumps up to the D spot, right? Again, thinking pattern 4 for each of these, right? He's in D. Think of D, D7 up here, and grabs root, and the 9 of D. Yeah. Bends into it, ends on the root, flat 7 root. Again, goes to C, immediately goes down the position. He's thinking different position for each one. Same tag. 9, bend up, root, flat 7. I love that. Flat 7, major 6th, 5th. Again, here's your tonic center. That's G. So you're still playing with that G minor. And then slide into the major 3rd of G and end on the root. Yeah. Yeah. I love he's reaching up again for that major 3rd. Loves to end on the 5, over the 5 chord.
That's the way I resolve it.
Yeah, that was a beautiful
See how he
lick that you
explains
played from over the D chord back down to the C chord.
Don't ask me to do it again.
Oh, okay.
Well, we'll try it anyway.
That was great. That was
Try it again.
okay.
So like right there, right? You got the flat 3, 1. And then going down, flat 7, I think he does 6, 5, 4, and then shoots for the major 3rd. So again, over the same chord, you're playing both the flat 3 and brightening it up with the major 3rd. You can always do that. Remember, the flat 3 creates that bluesy sound over a major chord because you're behind it, right? You can always add a flat 5 and a flat 3 in passing tastefully to create that bluesy sound over a major chord progression, a chord that has a major 3rd in it, because it's behind it. It doesn't change the function. Yeah, okay. So again, goes to the 4 chord, C, immediately, same spot, and then loves that little walk down, that flat 3, 9 root of G, right, of your key center, but that's flat 7, major 6, 5th of C. But then you see him go across the arpeggio, plays the major 3rd, yeah. That is a C7 arpeggio. 5, 3, 1, 5, flat 7. Yes, yes, the dude knows what he's doing, obviously. Love that. Flat 3, 3. Does it there. Knows where his major 3rd is, down here. I'm telling you, he's 3rd hunting. He's 3rd hunting all day. Loves to tag that 5. Yeah, yeah, BB, absolutely. You hear him like breathe. He's like, yeah, it was a hot one. So what's happening in here? Let's go back. We don't want to miss it. So he's clearly choosing to do a G major melody run here. You guys hear me preach it. For those of you that are taking my lessons over on the website, the major 1, 2, 3 melody run is where you start improvising and learning melodies. And by the way, learn every melody to every song that you learn, not the guitar parts. So, G. 1, 2, 3. Right? 1, 2, 3, 5. So he's choosing to do a G major melody run. Where's he go after that? What does he do there? Yes, so he's bending, you know. Right? He's pushing into the flat 7 of G here. Right? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. And then. What do we have here? I love BB. He's mixing and matching all over the place. Major third. 5, 6 into the flat 7. Minor third. B flat, ladies and gentlemen. This dude is third hunting all over the place. Yeah. And then, right? Spelling out that D7. So it's a little piece of G minor, but then it's straight to the major third of D. I mean, it's everywhere. Yeah. And then root, 7th, flat 7, right? Down to C as the chord progression comes around. Yeah, little sweep. On C major, just sweeping over the arpeggio. 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, up to G. And then tag it there with a little G major, like bend through the 9. Yep, because there's your G, there's your target. Like a little turnaround. Yeah. Minor third, B flat, but then major third. Yeah. Do you hear me? He goes, yeah. Yeah, then going straight to the root of the 5 chord.
That's great. Terrific.
You see what's happening here? He is very purposefully choosing when he's mixing major and minor to make it more bluesy or to make it more bright. You know, BB is known for the BB box. I teach it in my blues fundamentals course. Here's G, that, right? That's major as opposed to the Albert King. But he's clearly mixing and matching purposefully. He's also clearly thinking of the fretboard, of each chord that's changing, and choosing to switch based on the shape of that chord in each position. So he's G here, C here, D here. But then he also knows where the arpeggios are, the notes in that chord. Remember, an arpeggio is just a chord in scale form, right? He knows what that is in each of those patterns, but also has a keen eye on where the tonic center is, where the 1. That's the key with blues, right? You always got to resolve back to your key centered. So you're seeing BB's mix of key centered soloing and chord tone soloing.
One thing, though, I think,
Let's see where he goes.
Playing the blues again, we kind of cut across the boundaries of proper progressions, and you sort of put the note in that sounds good. In other words, you may not run the whole chord. For instance, like we're in G, right? Well,
by the way, I love that he's just doing this in the suit and tie with this big diamond ring and just like, yeah, we're going to play the note that sounds good. For instance, what's he going to do?
if a guy is fast and can do it, like I know a lot of the guys got fast fingers and do, well, my fingers are not so fast, so
Fascinating.
I think I used the word I called trading
Speed for taste, maybe.
Yeah. So I would do, in the G chord, I might hit the tonic, push up on the C there, push it up to D again.
4 through the 5. There's your little Albert King, right? G. There's 1, flat 3, 4, 5. So he's saying this is a minor thing over G, but I'm pushing C to D, which is the 4 through the 5, and you get the bluesiness with that flat 5 that you're pushing through. That's Albert King.
Back to the B.
Yeah, and the minor third.
There's that bend again when you just
Yeah.
See, he knows the names of notes. B flat. He knows what's happening.
Well, that's what I hear. So I'll take the 4 of the G,
right.
which is the C, right?
Right.
But I don't want to hit it. I don't want to hit the D first, so I like to slide up to it.
And then you take that B flat and just nudge it almost between B flat and B.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you're pushing towards that major third from the minor third. That's that bluesy sound. Remember? Because it's behind the third. You're not changing the function. You're changing the color, right? Bluesiness is the color.
That's great.
Now, sometimes if I got the time, I might bring it on up to, but most times it sounds better to me.
To the major third.
Then I'd go back.
So he's saying, sometimes I just tease the major third, and sometimes I get there. That's what he's saying. And then he's probably going to say, and then I go back and I play it here.
To the 1 again.
Minor. Yep, so he's doing the same move here. Right? Same move, same everything, just in the lower register.
Then, if I got enough time again and want to play around with it just a little bit, to the 5,
That would be the
right?
5 chord.
Yeah, and so what he's doing is he's making D the focus. It is the root of the 5 chord, over the 5 chord. And he's saying, right? So you're choosing to not resolve to the 1 yet. You're choosing to say something about the 5 chord. That's the point of improvising, right? You are behooven, whatever, to say something about the chord that you're playing over. The choice, of course, is, do you just mention it? Do you tell a whole story about that change? Is it somewhere in the middle? That's the character in different players. That's the stuff. And that's what we're seeing here.
Right. Could you do that lick again? Because that's...
Yeah. I love it. It's just so, mixo, right? 5, flat 7, and so this would be your 4 and your 5 of D, but of course, this is 5, flat 7, 1, 2 in G.
So you're bending the...
Starting
on the E,
on
right?
the E, and go up to the F.
F sharp, right?
No, not F sharp. F. Well, he does get pretty darn close, doesn't he?
On the E,
on
right?
the E, and go up to the F.
F sharp, right?
He does.
On the E,
On
right?
the E, and go up to the F.
F sharp, right?
He does. So, what a great pickup by this instructor. Who is that? I don't know. I'll find out. But speaking in terms of G now, he's bending. But no. So we're over D. 1, 2, 3, that major run. He's pushing towards the major third of D, right? Which, of course, is, wait for it, that is the leading tone. That is the leading tone, the 7th of G. So, F sharp G, F sharp G. So that needs to be resolved to G. So he's flirting with the leading tone, which is going to pull back to the tonic.
Then we come back down to the 8th fret again.
Right.
You know? So he loves choosing to focus on the fifth of each chord that goes by, which of course over the 4 chord is the tonic, is G, on the second string. That's like the key takeaway I'm getting here. He loves to focus of the sound of the 5 over each one of the changes and makes little adjustments to the third to kind of make it bluesier or brighter, minor, major, but there's always that commitment to the 5. So it's a very mixo vibe you're getting.
So I haven't played that many notes, but it's still
But
kind of
you've
going
said
to the
everything that
pattern.
needs to be said.
Love it. That's it? Okay. Who sent me this? Liam the Beginner. All right, Liam, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate this. Hopefully you guys find this interesting. Key takeaways here. 1, the old blues guys knew what the hell they were doing. Maybe some of them didn't, but BB sure did. He knew the names of the notes. He's clearly thinking chord tones and melodies and guitar licks, right? It's not a key-centered, one-scale-fits-all approach. You're not seeing him just blister through G minor pentatonic, right, over each one of the changes. He clearly has a system that he knows, and that is he thinks in terms of pattern 4, right? So my roots are 6, 4, and 1 strings and moves to each shape for each one of the chords. That's obvious. What is also obvious is that he knows the arpeggio to each one of those. So it's blues, root, 3rd, 5th, and flat 7. And he chooses to play those arpeggios over the chords. But he also has a keen eye, I mentioned this before, a very keen focus for where the tonic is in each one of them. He knows when he's up in D, here's my G, because he teases that minor 3rd there, right? And brings it back to the tonic. He knows that in C, there is my G, and he plays to that 5th. And when he's down here, he obviously knows this is the root, but likes to also play to that 5th there. That's the thing, man. That's the thing. Like he's saying, when you limit the notes, right, you're forced to do more with less. And when you do that, you really boil down to the essence of what you're choosing to play. And in blues, it's always a mix. It's always a mix of chord tones. Am I playing the notes in the chord? It can be in arpeggio form or, melodically. And key center soloing. So vocals are almost always key centered, meaning vocalists don't switch to a different scale when the chord changes. They constantly resolve back to the same inflection point. That is akin to, this song's in G, I'm playing G minor pentatonic over all 4 chords, all 3 chords, which of course works, right? But as improvisers, again, it behooves you to say something about each one of the chords and how little or how much you choose to say, i.e. playing those thirds, right? Implying those thirds. It's always third hunting because the thirds create function more than any other note, right? That's the deal. The thirds are everything. And you see him do that. And you see him do it very tastefully, and he changes it all the time. And it's got that distinctive flair. And, you could watch this a bunch of times and bring out a bunch of different things, but just pay attention to how he's purposefully changing position, purposefully choosing to do a melody run here, a bluesy thing there. This sounds good. What he's talking about is bending the minor 3rd, applying up to the 3, right? That's the bluesy, or the flat 5 behind the 5, when he bends through the 4. That's that thing that sounds good. That's that bluesiness. Make those mental connections, and then the next time you try to solo over a blues, right? Try some of these things. Come over to the website. I got jam tracks in my Blues Fundamentals course. I go over all this stuff. Liam the Beginner, thank you so much. This was awesome. Thank you for watching. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing. Please do that and ring the bell if you haven't already. It super helps with the algorithm, YouTube juice. And if you'd like to be like Liam and join us over at the website, take all my lessons and courses, get access to this page. It supports this channel. It makes all this possible. It's my life's work. I'd love to have you. It's an amazing community. It's the first link in the description. And that's it. Have a great day. Cheers.